open up the chest and exhale, come back to child's pose, where you can take a moment to breathe and relax. Beautiful. Thank you for joining me in this session. Don't forget to breathe and happy stretching.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Today on One. I'm Isai Sipunga. In the news tonight, Okwanangombe land grabbers forced to sleep in the open. Agronomic Board bans imports of 13 types of crops. Learners who lost family due to COVID-19 receive surprise visit. Local youth gear up for dog census and enumeration. And round up, Business on One, Commons Corner, sports and the weather. First up, desperate homeless residents in the Tobias Hanyako constituency are drowning in sorrow as they're left to sleep in the open. This comes after law enforcement demolished all the shacks and structures they have built. Hendrina Canyola has this report.
We have no money for rent. If we had money for rent, why do we have to come and waste our time here and sleep in the cold? We want the municipality to answer us. We have been pleading to them. We have been sending proposals to them. We have been trying to use procedures, but it's like they're in vain because they didn't even answer any letter that we have sent them. Look all around here. People want land. We are trying to use procedures here. We never fought. We are not using violence. We are using the procedure that they told us we need to use a procedure, but they are not answering us. Look all over here. Look behind. Is this what we call one Namibia, one nation? Doesn't look like any of this, because we are criticizing one another. We are hating one another. We are pushing one another. How do you sleep at night, seeing a brother and a sister that is sleeping on an open with a small child, with a small baby?
The general must not command the commandment, the police to come and destroy us. We are not enemies. We are not enemy of progress. So they should hold on first for the city to do what they're supposed to do. So the police must not come and take the little that we are left with. So they should leave us to sleep in our tents as we are right now here. They must not just come, please. They must not just come and destroy what the small that we have. So the city, we understand that the city is busy putting everything together and help us. So we are crying. Mr. Ndeitunga, please feel pity for us. We are the youth. We are the leaders of tomorrow. What are we? Where are you leading us to if you just want to destroy us like that? We are crying, Mr. Ndeitunga, please. We respect you. Please keep your police away from us for now. Let the leaders do what they're supposed to do. Thank you.
We don't know now. Are we Namibian or are we foreigners? Why are we suffering like this? We are also human beings. They don't want to see us as we are imported people also. Like me here, I don't have anywhere to go. And I don't have a family in Windhoek. I here in Windhoek because of my young daughter. He is also a Down syndrome. He's schooling at Morrison School. And I came to stand here for her. That's the reason I'm here. Maybe someone will ask that. Why you came in Windhoek without stay at Rundu. There's a reason. And I don't have money for renting. I'm unemployed. Where can I get money for renting? As you see, I'm just sleeping here with this coldness and wind. How? Please, we need a help. We are all Namibian, but we are not foreigners.
Land grabbers of the Tobias Hainyako constituency are left with the aftermath of sleeping outside, loss of property, damaged property, and their dignity has been stripped away. This comes after law enforcement embarked on an operation removing all newly built illegal structures in the Ochomise and the Tobias Hainyako constituency.
I was staying in the black plastics here. One thing I don't understand, these people, they are able to help those people who are down there because they were in riverbeds. But they cannot help us who are empty-handed. We don't have anything. How can you help someone who is having a half bread and you can't help the one who is not having anything at all? I don't understand this. People should hear our cries. My son have been going to hospital for many times now. We don't know what to do anymore. Really, they must hear our cries. They must hear us. We need our leaders to respond to us, please. We are suffering here. We are pleading for mercy.
They have their revenge that happened at Ochomise. Us, we are not like those people. And we are even wondering why our case is very much different from others. Why? Secondly, since I have been seeing people grabbing rent in different occasions, I never seen such a thing happening like this. No wonder why. So, I never seen a location which was allocated just freely by city of Windhoek, just like that. Most of the people, they go through grabbing, and then they have been demolished either once. From there, you're going to see people, they start building. For us, this is the 5th times in some people. Some of them, they experienced it 3 times. So I honestly don't understand what is really underground. I can't understand.
When they came, they told them that there is my money inside. Because that time they demolished us, I called my brother at home and my family. I told them that I demolished and I don't know where I'm going to be starting building my house. Then my brother and my family, they make me donation. My brother, if each and everyone they knows Johannes Litwai, the president of this Paralympic, he came on at Windhoek last week on Thursday. Then he gave me that donation in the envelope. It was 10,000. When they gave me that 10,000, I'll come and keep it on Thursday. And Friday, I said, okay, on Saturday, because I give the time to go and bank that thing, so to use it to buy something. When I go there, I put in that basket there where I put those clothes there inside. But when they break, because they break their house outside, not inside. Where they are breaking outside, there's a freeze, that freeze you see. Then the freeze is come and bamboo that the wardrobe, carpet for the grasses, everything. Then my things is damaged, everything inside there. You can see my carpet, my grasses, what is damaged.
Many residents say they are homeless and many have lost their jobs and cannot afford to pay rent. The city of Windhoek responded to the land grabbing matters, stating that residents should refrain from grabbing land and should follow proper procedures by visiting their offices or submit their housing applications to the Department of Housing, Property Management and Human Settlement, and they should have proof of genuine accommodation needs for housing.
This is my favorite gear, cause it speaks for me and all my brothers. Nivea Men Black and White Deo. With 5 times Deo action to protect you and your favorite gear from stains. Try Nivea's #1 anti-stain deodorant. Nivea Men, it starts with you.
The Agronomic Board of Namibia closed borders for the import of 13 types of crops such as cabbage, beetroot, butternut, sweet potato, amongst others, for the month of August, which the board's manager for horticulture market development explains are part of the board's market share promotion scheme, implemented as a growth at home strategy to promote the sale of locally grown fresh produce and stimulate local production and make Namibia self-sufficient.
Emily Abraham, Manager for Horticulture Market Development at the Namibia Agronomic Board, explains that the production data collected from local producers guides the border closures after the board has ensured that producers are able to produce sufficient production volumes to satisfy the demand. The board currently has 837 registered producers and controls entry and exit of 10 borders, amongst others Noordoever, Ariamsvlei, Beitepoort, Oshikango and Walfish Bay.
So we don't just close the border for each and every crop, but then we have a list of crops that we have identified as special control product. These crops were picked on the strength that they are strongly demanded by the country, and then also the country is deemed fit to produce the product itself. And that's the reason why we actually ban. And the main reason for this is just to protect our producer. As we all know that the industry is an infant industry. If we leave our producer to compete with the producers in other countries such as South Africa, where we normally import, basically we will expose them to a throat cut competition, and in that way we will not be able to develop our horticulture sector. It's also a board dream to reach a stage where we are able to consistently close the border for those 13 lines, because what we are looking for is that, at least for us, not to be dependent on importation of products, particularly those products that we are able to produce on our own. So what we do currently is that even if the special payment period runs for a month, we actually monitor, because we do the production forecast for 5 months, meaning that we at least know that what is the expected volume for this product for the period of 5 months. The reason why we don't close the border for 5-month period is because unforeseen circumstances can come by that is beyond the producer control, such as maybe frost or high temperature, and then you will see that the producer will not be able to harvest the expected yield as reported to the NAB. And that's the reason why we make the special payment period to run for a month, such that it allows NAB to monitor and see whether we are still good to go to close the border or to keep the border closed.
To help stimulate local production and enhance food security in the country, Abraham adds that the board, in collaboration with the Namibia Fresh Produce Association, is working to launch the eye-catch display of Namibian fresh produce in local retail shops to enhance compliance within the country's horticulture industry and ensure that retailers promote in-store the sale of locally grown fresh produce.
What is happening currently is that most of the stores are using their own logo to make sure that consumers are able to identify the product that are produced locally. But then we want to make it as a must to each and every store to do that. And this will be more applicable to loose sell, because if you look at those crops that are packaged or the product that are packaged, that one is not a big problem because a consumer is able to spot that this product is produced locally. But for the product that will be on the shelf in the form of loose sell, so it's very difficult for a consumer to spot that is whether it's an import product or it's basically locally produced. And that's why we want to make sure that all the loose sell are clearly marked on the shelf, so that we guide our our consumer to be able to make informed decision. September is a starting point, in October, and then November, we will actually dispatch our team, our compliance inspector, to start now inspecting shops. And we hope that by December, at least each and everyone who was not putting anything to display, putting the eye-catching logos on the shelf, at least by then we anticipate that everyone have the local product clearly marked on the shelf. To be a continuous thing, because traders are always coming, new traders are always coming on board, and obviously it will be a compliance issue. When everybody who is coming into the fresh produce trading business, obviously will be compelled to display the eye-catching display on the shelf. This just for us to be able to at least encourage consumers to support our local producers, and also for them to feel confident that our producers are also having something on the shelf.
The board is now calling on horticultural crop producers for commercial purposes to register themselves to ensure protection from cheap imports and effective implementation of the closed border period.
Members of the Walfish Bay community surprised learners who had lost family members due to COVID-19 with delicious goodies. During the holidays, many youngsters throughout the country were taken off guard when they unexpectedly lost family members as a result of the pandemic. In light of this, the people of Walfish Bay were invited to give sweet goodies to the school children during the first week of school. Leston Voller has this report.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Members of the town's The Journey organization, who had proposed the concept, inspired the starter learners. Journey Program's Herbert Mukosho reassured the learners that they would always have someone to listen to them if they were upset, and provided them with phone numbers to call if they needed to chat.
We love you, that's why we are here today, and know that even your teachers love you as much as they never said these words to you. Just telling you that, please don't do this, that's an act of love. They don't want you to go astray, okay? Your community loves you. Whenever you are being lonely or you are feeling there's something disturbing you, don't keep quiet. Go to your nearest, let me say, parents. Because when you're at school, teachers are your parents, okay? Yes. Reach out to them. Talk to them whatever is troubling you, irrespective of what. Don't feel ashamed. Talk to them. They will know how to assist you.
The support from the local community members has strengthened and comforted several learners.
My name is my son, I lost my auntie, and I'm just so thankful that you guys are supporting us.
My name is Keandro, my surname is Rachel, and today I feel very happy because the journey helped me out.
Some teachers expressed their gratitude and pledged to continue to help the learners, noting that they now had a list of individuals who are mourning.
For really taking time out to come to the schools and to provide emotional support to the learners, because words of encouragement, I think that's very important. With these unprecedented times, we really just trying to get the hang of, trying to get our curriculum finished. So we don't really focus much on the child's psychological needs because the time is not in our hands. So we really appreciate that the community members can come out and give words of encouragement to our learners, and really because the kids need, they have lost, family members, they need that support.
I've also lost my mom, who also lost a colleague. So it's soothing to hear that I am also not alone. That is the message that we are taking today. Wow. The learners as well. Sometimes we forget. We think of, why is it happening to me? But we've got community members like you coming out and telling us that you are not alone. And that is the most important. Sponsors from the community is very important. Even the smallest token of appreciation is needed. Our children are coming from very poor families, and they need that little act of kindness from anyone. Really, it's just a hug. Although we can't do it in COVID, but showing with a small token.
The teachers urge people of the community to make an effort and pay attention and support those, especially children, who have lost a loved one.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Young entrepreneurs Albano Ita and Nevin Eliphas will be conducting a dog census in Windhoek before expanding to other towns in the country. They will be checking all canines for valid dog licenses, and those who haven't yet registered their dogs are advised to do so as soon as possible. If you're a dog owner in Windhoek, then expect to have someone at your doorstep asking whether or not you have a dog license. The Professional Dog Unit Agency of Namibia plans to create a database of all canines in the city.
We already have a budget from NSA on how much we need to conduct these dog census. So now we plan on starting within Commerce region, because we are based in Commerce region. We just use papers and just come house to us and ask, do you have a dog? If you have a dog, okay. How many dogs do you have? All right. What breed are they? Are they licensed? Are they vaccinated? All those type of questions we'll ask them. But we're first starting within Commerce region. And the only way to do this is to talk to the owners, go house to house, to inform them, if you have a dog, keep your dog in the yard. Otherwise, if you have your dog to walk outside, you can walk with it on a leash, or it should be trained perhaps. And it should be licensed. This helps a lot with the licensing your dog. No? If your dog is licensed, you'll be able to know who's the owner of this dog. Just the ERF number on the tag, so the dog lives there. We go talk, we saw your dog there. It's that simple.
Meanwhile, Eliphas has had his share of frustration with stray dogs roaming around the city and decided to join the organization as a volunteer.
In the community, it's now worse, because every time we go there, everybody is just reporting of dog cases, finger banning, and this is something that's really not good to the community. And
they can also not trace the dog.
Yeah, and they cannot trace the dog. That's why we're trying to get them together and know and make sure that we know this dog owner lives at Elfward, and we go straight to them and talk to them. And if they don't want the dog, we take it and we see what happens to it. If they don't come and get it, that's it. Because if you don't want to inject it or take care of it, then you'll just lose it. If you want it, it's your family, keep it safe.
The Professional Dog Unit Agency of Namibia needs at least 200 volunteers to carry out the dog census. Those that are interested can contact Albano Ita at 081 41 99 289. Unlicensed dog owners are advised to register their canines at any local veterinary.
Stay connected during lockdown with unlimited internet from as little as 399 Namibian dollars per month. Get faster home internet at these amazing prices. Sign up now and get free installation plus double the speed, or enjoy double the speed if you're already signed up. Contact us at spectraadmin@mtc.com.na or call toll-free 901111. Get there with MTC Spectra Home. MTC, make the connection.
In other leading stories, the Minister of Labour, Industrial Relations and Employment Creation, Honourable Utani Nuyama, and Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Honourable Derek Claassen, met with trade unions at Swakopmund and Walvis Bay in the Irango region to get an appraisal of the progress made with regards to placements of retrenched fishers and those who were retrenched due to the illegal strike of 2015, as well as challenges the fishing sector is facing. The Namibian government held long discussions and negotiations on the issue of re-employing the fishermen who were retrenched in 2015 following an illegal strike. These negotiations culminated in a signing and agreement with 5 fishing companies at the coastal towns. The Labour Ministry, however, took note with serious concern of problems faced with re-employment fishers who are refusing to perform work as instructed by the respective employers and are sitting at home while earning an income, and the mushrooming of new unions that are not acting in the interest of workers or any specific sector in the region, which are likely to cause disruptions or a strike similar to that of the 2015 illegal strike. The two ministers warned that if the re-employed fishers are not willing to work when called upon by the respective employers, that they will be replaced by other unemployed fishers who wish to work. The ministry wishes to caution the employees against causing disruptions in the sector, particularly during a challenging economic environment and the COVID-19 pandemic. The ministry further reminds the fishers that it is not easy to integrate people who have been out of employment for over 5 years. Meanwhile, Minister Nyama also urged the trade unions not to politicize the plight of the fishers and the process of reintegrating these fishers into employment, as decisions were taken through the process of consultation between the government, the employers and the trade unions, and were agreed upon in the spirit of social dialogue and tripartism. The two leaders also appealed to the trade unions to maintain professional leadership and render psychosocial support when engaging the workers. Additionally, not honouring the agreements and politicising the reintegration of the fishers will result in the suffering of the employees. The two ministers intend to visit the harbour towns in due course to meet with the industry leaders who played the critical role in the re-employment and reintegration of the fishers, and to appreciate the efforts by the fishing companies to support the government in addressing the plight of unemployed fishers.
Are you a CMS member? With HospiCash 100, you can get up to 100,000 Namibian dollars cover with a 30,000 limit per event from as little as 100 Namibian dollars a month. We understand that being in hospital can be stressful. That is why with HospiCash 100, you can cover your non-medical expenses by receiving cash payouts when you are in hospital, so you can recover stress-free. Interested? SMS your name and HospiCash to 555 and we will call you back.
Joseph Shifeni standing by for today's edition of Business on One and Economic Indicators.
Welcome to Business on One. I'm your host, Joseph Shifeni. In April this year, the then chairperson of the Management Committee presented the City of Windhoek budget for approval by the Urban and Rural Development Ministry. The Land Ministry, however, only approved the $5 billion budget recently. The mayor, at the occasion of formalizing the coalition governing the City Council, expressed dissatisfaction at how the delay hinders progress in delivering services and expenditure on planned activities.
We are sitting in August, I believe. Honorable Mayor, Your Worship, your budget for the city, when was it approved?
Just Friday. It was submitted earlier in the year. It was just approved on Friday.
Yes. Why I'm asking that question is because I have been here at the city as a city councillor for the past 5 years. I'm only in Parliament now a year and a half. Now, you have these dynamics where the line minister is the one that should approve the city budget for whatever the city wants to do per year. But the line minister takes 8 months to approve the city budget. Now, this antagonism and all these words flying around, even if the city of Windhoek wanted to provide basic services to the people of the city of Windhoek, how will they be able to do so without an approved budget? And I think this is one of the few questions that members of the media must call the minister and ask, why is that is the case, if it is not sabotage?
From the 2021-2022 budget, about $4.4 billion will be on operational expenditure. From this amount, $2.6 billion will go to general expenses, while $1.5 billion will be spent on the salaries of 1,935 permanent employees of the city. About $500 million will be spent on capital projects, with $4.6 billion revenue expected during the financial year. The mayor spoke of change and transformation in the 5-year strategic plan that is currently under review by the council.
The budget process of the city, and I see I see in the Namibian there's a story about councillors requested 5% or something. The budget process of the city begins a year before. It begins with consultation, it begins all those things that is happening. So by the time you already come in, you realize that consultation with stakeholders have already been done and all those things have already occurred. So you actually, this year, even the budget is aligned to the so-called strategic plan, and this strategic plan is in place lawfully until June 2022. But now we are in the process of reviewing and drafting a new. So it gives an opportunity, particularly now, when the progressive forces have found each other, so that when that new 5-year strategic plan is going to be drafted, it's going to be drafted with our footprint. So when those things happen, then we decided, no, we cannot have a situation where you have a city police, but you are paying 20 million to all these security guards. But of course, you start having a lot of people who are coming. One day, one of these contractors just came to my office. And then I'm asking, yeah, what are you doing? And saying, no, you are stopping our things. So what do you mean? So we wanted to have a confrontation. So we are also at risk with our lives and things like that because of all these things. Because once you fight corruption, corruption fights you back. So also that collusion with the private people and all those, not genuine entrepreneurs, we have real entrepreneurs. But those are the dynamics that people sometimes don't see. So when we say we want to have our own foot and our own footprint on the policies and processes here, because this is a very big and corrupt machinery that we're trying to get right.
The 4 political parties signed an agreement to cooperate as a coalition after weeks of infighting and allegations of withdrawals of some of the members. And that is all we have for you. Be sure to join us again next time, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
We can't wait to be together again. But until then, let's stay safe.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from the hottest social media pages. The Business and Intellectual Property Authority has recently announced that businesses that have submitted annual returns and paid duties now qualify for a good standing certificate that will allow them to participate in national tender processes. The authority says the certificate will be a requirement by all public entities in the near future. Matt Harold noted that relief, incentives, or writing off arrears are needed instead. Mateusa hopes that the certificates will be free of charge, while Andre noted that applying for businesses should be made more expensive. And a video clip showing Kennedy Kanji, the organizer of the Ochamise Land Occupancy Association, being detained by the Namibian police force, went viral on social media after he was mistaken for being the former councillor of Katutura Central and fleeing for his life in a recent operation headed by Nampol Inspector General Sebastian de Tunga. In an exclusive conversation with Today on One, Kanji described how they aim to aid Namibians in their quest for land. Bernard noted that leadership is not for everyone. While Grace hopes that the land grab is not a setup to tarnish the name of the mayor, adding that either way, land should be made available. And that's all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day, only on Today on One.
Did you know? COVID-19 vaccines may not only prevent you from getting seriously sick. Vaccines allows your body to fight the virus well before an infection occurs. This greatly increases your chances of not getting seriously ill when infected. The government provides COVID-19 vaccines for free, and they are safe for people aged 18 years and older, including those with pre-existing conditions. Remember, it is important to go for both doses of the vaccine to make sure you are fully protected.
So, get vaccinated. Help kick COVID-19 out of Namibia.
This message was brought to you by the Nationhood and National Pride Program in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Social Services.
Time now for today's sports update with Castro Ulumbu.
Welcome and thank you for joining me, Castro Ulumbu, for this edition of Sports on One. The Namibian national senior men's cricket team has started with preparation for the 2021 ICC Men's T20 World Cup, which is scheduled to take place in the United Arab Emirates from the 17th of October to the 14th of November 2021. Currently, the Eagles have invited Zimbabwe for the 6-match tournament in 3 T20s and 350 over games. Today on One Sports has more on this story. Speaking to Today on One Sports Desk at the opener of the 6-match tournament at the Wanderers Cricket Ground in the capital, Cricket Namibia CEO Johan Miller described the opportunity to invite Zimbabwe to Namibia as a huge step in preparation towards the T20 World Cup. The Eagles are drawn in Group A alongside Sri Lanka, who are ranked 8th in the world, Ireland 13th, as well as Netherlands, who are ranked 17th. Miller noted that being the lowest ranked team in the group gives the Eagles an advantage as it provides lesser pressure on the team.
T20s is always great and exciting. So from a spectator's point of view, I think it is something that everyone looks forward to. It is the first cricket action we had since May, early in this year. It's also just to get the players back on the field and getting them to have something to train for again. Professional athletes do need a competition to motivate them to be 100% sharp. And T20s, there's none better like that. This series is to get our players back onto competition mode, get them back on the field. It's good content for our local viewers and also currently broadcasting live in India, live on NBC as well, which means that people of Africa and South Africa also got access to it. But for us, it's literally just to get our players back on the pitch, get them playing competitive cricket again, and get all the fluids flowing. It's quite a strong group. I mean, if you play in the top 16 the countries in the world, it's quite intense competition. So we are up against a really strong Sri Lanka side, one of the top teams for quite a number of years in world cricket. Then also the Netherlands side has been in the top 12 countries for quite some time, and then Ireland, which recently just played against South Africa and also beat them in a 50-over game. So it's going to be a strong challenge, but we're up for it. We've got nothing to lose. We are in a group that we think we can compete against, but you never know what happens in a game. People do not necessarily expect us to win, to beat them. basically just because of the fact that we haven't done that 3 years ago. But for the last year and a half, we've started beating some more top-rated teams consistently. We had a really good World Cup qualifier end of 2019, and we've beaten some of these big names. So I also don't think that they will approach us lightly. They will definitely do their preparation on us, and we should be ready for that.
Eagles head coach Pierre de Bruin highlighted key points and factors on the recently concluded 3 T20 series games and also shared on what he expects on the 50-over games which are set to start on Wednesday.
I'm very pleased with the T20 series that's now concluded. We had a specific focus in the T20 competition, and that was to really just focus on our own game, especially individual roles, and then also to give a lot of our fringe players a start. And yesterday's game for me was the best game of the three, where we were under pressure and we had to battle it out in those situations, and it came in the form of Piquet France, and it came in the form of Cole Birkenstock and Sean Fouchier. So, you know, these type of players that's within the squad, you know, they also want to compete, and they did that very well. 3 games done and dusted. You know, it's all preparation towards the World Cup. As a coach, you know, I'm looking for answers. I need to complete the puzzle in terms of the combinations, the players in roles, and it was a very good exercise. Looking forward to the 50-over games. Yeah, it's a different format. And you know, we still have the Cricket World League 2 league that we will start again in November. So, you know, it's very important matches for us. It's very important matches for any player to use, you know, whichever format, to stay in form, and to use opportunities like that to also put your hand up. A much longer format. So we will also be quite specific in how we're going to approach these games, to not fall into a trap of losing our intensity and the way we want to play white ball cricket. So for me, that's very important, and we're looking forward to game time. It's game time. It's players competing in the middle and not just training in the nets. So we're looking forward to it.
The Eagles won all 3 of the 3 T20 games and will start with the 3 50-over games on Wednesday, 18th of August at the Wanderers Cricket Grounds. And that is all we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow for Sports on One, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. Back to you, Isai.
Thank you, Castro, for the latest in sports. Now let's have a look at the weather forecast.
A look at the weather forecast. Cooler air mass is expected in the south tomorrow, spreading towards the central region on Thursday. The Namibia interior partly cloudy and cold and mild in the Clarence region, elsewhere sunny and mild to warm but hot in the north and east. It will be windy over the interior. The coast partly cloudy and cold to mild with a few showers in the extreme south towards the evening. The wind fresh to strong southwesterly. Now we look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
That's all we have for you. Join us for a repeat at 9:30 this evening and the Omnibus Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. From me, Isai Sipunga, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future. A hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
never thought that it would get to me. Never, in a million years. I just had like a fever and that sort of stuff. It was just a fever initially. Now there's a headache, and now there's body chills, and then you start to kind of put one and one together to say, "Ooh, there can be something wrong here." Early in the morning, 4 o'clock, we just decided, no, this is something is wrong here. We need to seek medical attention. I spent 7 weeks in hospital in total, of which 6 were in ICU, and then another 3 months of recovery at home. All in all, you're talking about 5 months of, and look, I mean, I'm still dealing with some of the effects as we sit today. When we talk about someone being COVID positive, we kind of talk about the individual, but the impact on the family is huge. It's significant, because one, it's your loved one that's in hospital. What makes it even more difficult in my mind is, or what I've experienced, is the fact that you cannot visit the person, you cannot see the person, you cannot help take care of the person. If you think about what's happening now, businesses are having to close down there, or if they don't close down, they're having to reduce capacity. And what does it do in terms of the economy of the country? What does it do in terms of the livelihoods of those people that were employed by those companies? Our communities are losing the pillars of those communities. We are losing brilliant, bright people that are continuously making an impact in this country. And those are things that we might not see it now, but we're going to see it in the next months and years to come. I don't want any person that I know, even my worst enemy, I don't want them to go through the experience that I went through. We don't fully embrace the benefits that vaccines mean for each and every one of us, individually as well as a collective. The key thing that the vaccine does is it gives you a higher chance of not getting gravely ill like I did, or getting hospitalized as long as I did. If the vaccine gives you that chance to avoid getting sick gravely, ending up in hospital, or worst case dying, then I think it's something that one needs to consider very seriously. I've got a young family. I want to be there and see my kids grow up and fulfill their full potential. Because what I'm saying is, if I've survived it and I can share my story and I can share my experience, maybe it will help somebody out there from that perspective. Even if it's somebody that's sitting with that same problem, whether at home surviving or struggling at home or in hospital, if they see this, just to say that there's hope out there. If you believe, if you have a positive state of mind, if you go through this with the view to say, I want to get to the other side, not just for myself but those that are around me, so that I can go and occupy my rightful place in my home, in my community, in my country, and contribute in terms of what my purpose is, then there's hope that I can keep on fighting. My name is Brent Asep. I'm a COVID-19 survivor. Let's protect ourselves and those around us by getting vaccinated.
Black sunrise, always gonna be a surprise, 'cause we don't know the way it's going to go, 'cause we can see the way it's going to be, 'cause we can see.
We're talking about COVID. Babaji, tell us about the day you found out you had COVID. The day I found out I have COVID, it was a difficult day. I didn't understand how I got COVID because I was always covered, I was always with my hand sanitizer. It came with my wife. And that whole day, I was thinking, what's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna survive. My kids, I was losing my tasting, smelling. There were some days I will test my taste buds and put like 4 or 5 chilies in my coffee. No ways. I didn't taste it.
So did you also lose your appetite in the process?
It was very funny. In the first week, no, I was chowing. I was chowing like I will wake up like midnight and make for me something. But after the first week, then the appetite was gone. When you go to bed, your body is also automatically switching off. And that's a dangerous time for COVID. It's like glass pinching you, cutting you inside your lungs. Then the heart was pumping like a rabbit pumps. You are losing a lot of fluids at night.
Is that through fever or what?
Yeah, it's through fever.
So have you experienced any side effects from having contracted COVID-19?
No, not yet. Maybe still coming, but not yet.
And your wife?
She was complaining about light head. It's an annoying headache. It's light, but it's annoying.
So basically you didn't take any prescribed medicine from the doctor to recover from COVID?
No, I didn't. The only thing I was using is desperate for my blood not to clot. Because for some people, when your lungs are really, really infected, your blood will start to clot from the lungs, close all the airways. That's where we are passing. I'm smoking cigarette, and when you were a smoker and COVID in your lungs now.
So then after you both found out you had COVID, what did you guys do to protect the kids?
The kids move out from the house. The booties will come, then we'll collect everything for them and just put for them outside. When they came, just grab the food and go.
So what was the biggest battle for you? Was it mental or physical?
Mentally. Mentally was the biggest battle. I'm actually an international movie maker, and my career was cut off. I couldn't put bread on the table. There were some days we have one meal for the day, then went to bed. And that was hitting me in my mind. What if Blessing get corona now? Where am I gonna go? Who can I help? There were also some people depend on us in the rural areas. We couldn't help them. My future was black, dark, dark, dark. I couldn't even see that small light at the end of the tunnel. One day, my daughter decided, now, I want to see my father today. And I just told her, yeah, she can come. The first words was, Daddy, I was praying for you yesterday night. Don't worry, Corona will go back soon. And I was asking, from where? From Namibia? I said, no, not from Namibia, from you. And you are not looking good. And she was actually heartbroken. Until today, she hates Corona. From there, then I was like, oh, okay. If the smallest one is saying this, why am I not picking me up self and do the right thing and get rid of this thing? That's where I started to run, to practice, coming to my quiet place. And actually, the main thing that broke my heart during that time was there was no one. The time of COVID, there was no one.
So can you tell us where we are right now?
We are at my silent place. I call this place my silent place. I will come here when the COVID is hitting me like 120%. Looking at the ocean, then you will hear voices like, no, you don't belong here. Today, you don't belong here. Get up and go home. Some days, they will nurse you like, no, you will survive. Your future is a bright future. You must not give up now. Think about your kids. Think about the people around you. Even the wind will do that. Actually, you must meditate. The thing of COVID is, looks like COVID is afraid of the warmness and is friends with the coldness. So the whole time you are baking in the sun, it helps a lot.
So is that what you did?
Yeah, I did. I will do that twice a day. This was supposed to be a golden year for me, a very, very good golden year for me, but then COVID decided, no, this is not going to be your golden year. Everything was cancelled. We, the filmmakers, this year, from the international shoots, lost lot of money.
You've lost 3 family members? Is it all due to COVID?
No, not all due to COVID. First one, my sister. She was very close to me. She contracted COVID April, and she was in ICU for 3 months. The COVID damaged her lungs, and at the stage her lungs collapsed and she couldn't breathe without the machines. Her kidneys failed, her liver has failed. COVID is real. First of all, COVID is real. It's not a joke. Most of the people, they fall away from COVID regulations. Still early to fall away from COVID regulations. We must still go in line with those COVID regulations.
And how long did you say it took you to recover?
3 weeks, 21 days.
What must somebody do to change your mind from that negative perspective to that positive?
COVID, no job, it's very dangerous. There was one day I just decided I'm gonna take a rope, go to the jetty, sit around there, and after all I will hang there by the jetty. The time I arrived here, there was no wind. Out of nowhere, the ocean was like angry, and it started to get cold. And I was like, but it was just nice weather. Then I sat down. Then the universe will talk with you, the wind, the sun, the ocean. That's the main thing of COVID. If you don't save yourself, no one will save you. And we must always appreciate what we have around us. That's the main thing in COVID. If you don't appreciate what you have around you, no, you will lose your head.
Smile, smile, smile. When you walk with me, I just want you to smile, smile.
My industry and what I've done with my hands in Namibia, it's going all over the world, and here you are, Papa G, you want to quit now. I'm excited for 2021. It's not gonna be the same like 2020 now. I'm making back in the groove.
Give me food, clothes, water, and shelter. Nothing else, no matter. You're my moonlight in my oven. Let all my sins be forgiven. Happiness rain on me. Never let the children cry. Namibia, smile.
What's up, world? This is Shay, the goddess of the airwaves, on 99 FM, Monday to Friday, serving you breakfast on the ignition between 6 and 9. We brought you to be inspired, taking you to master your destiny. Now it's time to do the work.
Just show up.
Put on your work boots and do the time.
Make it, and then make it better.
Hello world, it's your boy Script here on The Kingdom, where we're reminding you every single day.
Get up. You've got this. Start where you are.
Hey, this is your girl Treza on Hitsville on 99 FM, letting you know it's okay.
Try.
Make mistakes.
Awesome.
I am Sibo, and I'm going to be with you for quite a while. Thank you so much for joining us here on your inspiration station, where we let you know
there's no easy money, there's no easy job, there's no easy life.
99 FM. Do the work.